Ladies and gentlemen, the former Malindi Member of Parliament, Madam Aisha Jumwa, is poised to become a cabinet secretary in the Ministry of Gender. And today, when she faced a panel of members of parliament who were trying to scrutinize her character and, among other things, her education, she revealed to the nation that she scored a D- in her KCSE. In fact, some members put her to task to explain how she rose from being a D- student to now a degree holder.
Which I'm seeking is what she got in Form 4, because the papers before us is that she got a D- in Form 4. And I'm comparing that honorable speaker with a degree. You know, and I'm asking myself, if you're in Pokot, for example, can you really get a D- and get a degree? What is the road of getting that degree, honorable?
Say that it wasn't easy, even for me to score that those marks that you were seeing them there, because I had to take myself to class after dropping in Form 2, struggling as a private candidate, and because I took it to myself as a challenge that I have to be better and serve the community better or serve the society better. So I think I am not even shy because it is in the public domain, but I think that is not a qualification to judge Aisha Jumwa on sitting in the cabinet. I think the person who nominated me to this position did his due diligence and see that I am fit if given, if approved by Parliament. And you know, I represent many who today are looking Aisha Jumwa as a role model, that you can have a D or a D- and get somewhere to the cabinet. You are talking of the real hustler.
And despite all the Dwarf academic qualifications, the President William Ruto still decided to nominate Aisha Jumwa into that very sensitive docket of gender. In this video, I want us to try and understand why William Ruto insists on Aisha Jumwa, despite the fact that he's got a myriad of choices, very many qualified and able men and women who can fit into that docket. Before we delve into this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching our video for the very first time, kindly subscribe and click the notification bell so that whenever we do a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. To all our subscribers, thank you very much for the support that you're giving this channel. Kindly, one thing I would request from you, just give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend it to very many viewers. Now, without wasting time, ladies and gentlemen, Aisha Jumwa is the former member of parliament for Malindi constituency. Aisha Jumwa was a member of ODM, a Raila loyalist, and after 2017 elections, she, among other members of parliament, fell out with Raila and she joined the Ruto camp. She was like an outcast in the ODM fraternity, and so she decided to vie for Kilifi governor to take over from Amason Kingi. She did not succeed, but President William Ruto decided to reward her with a position, like many of her colleagues, a position of a cabinet secretary, and in this case, in the docket of gender. William Samoei Ruto decided to stick with Aisha Jumwa because Aisha Jumwa stuck with her. Our president is known for rewarding loyalty. If you look at people like Murkomen, Eden Dwale, you look people like Mithika Linturi, you look at the nominee into the cabinet secretary to the docket of internal security, the man who was poised to become the deputy president. All of them are people who are being rewarded for standing with William Ruto. You all know that our president and all his team faced a lot of harassment and humiliation in the former regime, despite the fact that he was a deputy president. So she is being rewarded, Aisha Jumwa, for standing with William Samoei Ruto. She was very tough. She told off all those who criticized her move to ditch the ODM. I also think that Aisha Jumwa is being considered to bridge the gender gap. Remember when William Samoei Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua campaigned, they assured the women of this country that half of their cabinet was going to be formed by female gender. They promised women half of their cabinet.
Women will become equal partners, will have equal say, will occupy equal positions in the highest decision-making organ of the Republic of Kenya. I, William Samoei Ruto, on behalf of Kenya Kwanza Alliance, do hereby commit to actualize the two-third gender principle, that we shall allocate 50% of all cabinet positions to the women of Kenya.
Even though this did not happen, I think almost a third of the cabinet nominees went to females or women of this country. And Aisha Jumwa is one of them. She is being considered in that docket so that she bridges that gap of a third gender rule. Aisha Jumwa comes from the coast, and if you look at loyalists from the coast, we have Hassan Sarai, the man who also ditched Raila Odinga after 2017 elections, and she vied against Joe. Joe defeated him. He also tried his hands into being a governor. He contested for a Mombasa gubernatorial seat. He lost to the current governor of the coast, Nasir. But Aisha Jumwa seems to be tougher compared to Hassan Sarai, who looks to be more an academic, but not very tough politically. So Aisha is being rewarded for being tough. You know, sometimes William Ruto needed people who are very tough. Mombasa was a place that was hotly contested. In fact, even after the presidential election, Mombasa County and Kakamega were postponed. The elections in those areas were postponed. And in a move that many thought that was meant to influence or to compromise votes in favor of President Ruto. Even though he lost all of them, both of them, Hassan Sarai lost in Mombasa County and Cleopas Malala lost in Kakamega County. But if you look at Aisha Jumwa, she's been very, very tough. And I think that has rewarded her that very docket. Aisha Jumwa is also being considered to give a national outlook. She is, I think, the only member of the cabinet who is coming from the coast. Remember, there are several vested interests as far as the nomination to the cabinet secretaries are concerned, and the president wanted to ensure that coast is represented. Remember, Najib Balala was heading, I think that was a tourism docket. The tourism docket has gone to someone else, but Aisha Jumwa has been retained so that those who are coming from the coast will not say that they have been left out. Our president is also looking at 2027 because he still wants to go for a second term as a president. And if you look at the kind of spirited battle that went on in the coast, you will appreciate the fact that William Ruto tried to wrestle that the electorate in the coast from Raila Odinga. That has been a bedrock or a bedroom for Raila Odinga. But William Ruto tried to wrestle it from him. In fact, he really got a substantial number of votes from the coast, and he even managed to get one member of parliament in Nyali, Jichukevi Mohammed. So William Ruto wants to organize himself so that when it comes to 2027, he will be very ready. And for him to do that, he needs foot soldiers. And one of the foot soldiers that he is preparing and grooming is Aisha Jumwa. She lost in the Kilifi gubernatorial position, but I think come 2027, if she is nominated into that cabinet, she's going to be very powerful so that in 2027 she's going to vie for the Kilifi gubernatorial seat and she might get it. So she's one of the foot soldiers that William Samoei Ruto is relying on in the coast. And I want to believe that members of that committee have no choice but to accept her and to ratify her for the position of the cabinet secretary for gender. Ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts concerning Aisha Jumwa. I don't know what you think. Do you think she's qualified to lead that docket? Do you think she's going to be productive? Do you think she understands the policies as far as gender is concerned? Please let us interact in the message section. You can tell me what you think. But from where I sit, I think Aisha Jumwa should be given a chance